Appreciate it, Mike. Just want to first and foremost say happy anniversary to my wife. She doesn't ever watch this, but we can get the content to her. But 25 years of marriage today, so just first and foremost, happy anniversary to her. Got to see her at 5:22 this morning when I left. I think my last thing tonight is 8:15 on a radio show, so I'll get home around 9 o'clock. So happy anniversary. Really proud of our coaching staff, first and foremost, and then our recruiting staff. Patrick Suddas, who's our general manager, does a tremendous job organizing, implementing the plan, keeping all of our coaches engaged and connecting with the recruits and high school coaches throughout the process, throughout Zoom calls, throughout the global pandemic, throughout having to use every creative means possible for visits, unofficial visits, official visits in a virtual world, and I thought Patrick did a great job with that. Karina Hargraves, she was the one who set up all the Zoom calls, the transcripts, the applications, all those things. Thomas Guerri helps with the evaluation process. He had to step up this year and do a great job on the graphics front as well, and did a tremendous job helping me in the limited amount of team meetings that we were able to have. Just his presence and assistance with those things was really good. A couple of interns that did a great job for us, Jacob and Raphael and Haka, Nicole Early, thank you so much. Our creative team, I think, you look at what the buzz on social media today, our visual presence on social media today, all the interactive things that we were able to do. Simmet Shaw, the ideation staff, all that they have done with the social media presence. I think Football Scoop has rated us the #1 program with the branding and the imaging and all those kind of things throughout the day. Glenn Ingram shot all of our videos throughout the season, compiled a lot of the things that you guys saw on social media, the hype things, the uniform reveal, and he was a guy that had to come in late throughout preseason camp toward the end and just jumped right in and did a tremendous job with that piece for us. Neo, we had Morpheus. Morpheus has gone on to do some great things with J1S. Still is a huge integral part of what we do here at Georgia Tech. But Neo did a great job stepping up in a quick turnaround to help us with the graphic piece. Again, J1S, Morpheus Santino Stancato. I think I said that right there, bud. Just at the forefront of building our brand, showing our culture to high school recruits, giving our players a platform that I think is one of the tops in college football. And they did a lot with the signing day content, a lot of the visual things that you saw, the video that went viral the last 2 nights, was them. And I think in this day and age of, us being on the cusp of the name, image, and likeness thing, and I've said this for a long time, Georgia Tech and the city of Atlanta are a destination spot, and just proud of all that they have done. I would be remiss if I didn't thank our student equipment managers, First Punt and El Diablo. Kane Iverzostis do a tremendous job in the equipment room, helping our student athletes, helping our football players. The energy, the vibe, the heartbeat of our organization begins in that equipment room. It's the first point of contact almost on a daily basis with our guys. Our student equipment managers are phenomenal, and just thankful for them. Student athletic trainers as well. Got to mention our academic staff. They were always available. They were always willing to hop on the virtual calls with these recruits, and it's obviously an outstanding signing class, but you can't do that without the trust and support of our academic staff. One of the top teams in the country in APR, one of the top teams in the country in graduation rate, at the 4th highest ranked academic school in the country. And our academic people, Phyllis LaBall, Chris Breen, Brandon Potterbaum, Joel Miller, and the rest of the staff do a tremendous job. One of the last pieces is our compliance staff, how they help us navigate all the new adjustments and addendums throughout this virtual world. Just anytime we had a question, anytime we wanted to do something, we could always rely on them being available to take a call, give us good advice, give us good wisdom, help us navigate so we stay in line with all the NCAA rules, and they did a great job with that. Shoshana Engel, Lance Marcos, Chardonnay Bluford, Tatiana Cummings, just really, really appreciative of all of these people that are in our organization have done, and just really proud to be associated with the people that I'm blessed to be associated with every day. So obviously 21 signees, 13 of which are Georgia natives. We were able to get 5 transfers, and one of the cool things about the transfers, 4 of them are coming back to Atlanta, and 4 of them still have 4 years of eligibility remaining. We were able to be very specific with the transfers that we brought in. Really proud of the roster that we've been able to develop, we've been able to build. This is only our second full recruiting class, and the culture that we've established, the way the guys compete, they play with tremendous effort and continue to grow closer together. This will add some exciting times in the very near future for us. And with that, I guess Mike take some questions. And obviously also, you guys all know and love Mike Flynn, or at least you all know Mike Flynn. So I'm just thankful for all that he does for us.
Thank you, Coach. We'll go ahead and open it up now for questions. If you have questions, please use the raise hand function within Zoom. We'll call on people individually, beginning with Kelly Quinlan from Rivals.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, Jeff. Obviously, the strength of your staff has been getting in on kids early, getting them on campus, and your in-person recruiting. And I know that paid off with some of the kids you were able to sign, but I guess just how difficult was that truly for your program to not be able to spend the time with the kids in person with the signing class that you normally would?
Yeah, I think one of the things that I thought our staff did a great job, and obviously Patrick Suttis helped organize all of it. We made sure we still did all of our background checks, did deep dives into getting to know every single one of our recruits that we sign. We are still a developmental program, and we want to make sure the guys have the right mindset and the right demeanor to come in here and help to let us maximize their potential. So getting to know them on a deep personal level is huge. Talking to the coaches, talking to the people around them, getting them on a lot of calls, a lot of FaceTimes, a lot of Zoom calls. That was instrumental into us selecting who we wanted to join our culture, to join our organization. But one of the cool things, Kelly, is we've got a young and innovative coaching staff that connects well regardless of the medium. And I think that was huge for us to establish those connections in a virtual world, over Zoom, over FaceTime. And that's not an easy thing to do, but I just applaud our staff for being able to do that at such a high level and make those kind of meaningful connections and continue to build and grow those relationships throughout this year. And then it ended up with us having a really good signing class.
Next question comes from Rod McKenzie from 247 Sports.
Hey, Rob.
Hey, Jeff. Hey, talking about Zoom, is that a tool moving forward that maybe you took some positives away from and you might use moving forward?
Yeah, absolutely. And even now that we're away from our guys, that's something that we'll do over the next 4 weeks. A lot of our guys are obviously back home, so it's not going to be, a challenge for us to do those kind of things in the current landscape. And even moving forward, there's going to be certain times throughout the year that our guys might be gone for a couple of weeks at a time, and having the familiarity and the ability to trust that medium, I think will pay off big for us.
Question from Ken Segura from the Atlanta Journal-Constitution.
Hey, Ken.
Hey, Jeff. You mentioned something about the transfers, and you used an interesting word, specificity, and I had some other questions, but I was curious with that, like what exactly do you mean by how you were trying to be specific in approaching the portal?
Sure, absolutely. Just certain positions of need, and I think the thing that helped is 4 of them have multiple years of eligibility returning, and I think only 1 or 2 have a very short window, but I think they're at positions that can really upgrade, our roster, our program. So excited about those that are going to be here in the short term, and then also those that are going to be here long term as well. And one of the biggest pieces too, I think we've done a really nice job. The guys that we've brought in here as transfers, and Ryan Johnson, who's going to be returning, have come in here. They've understood the mindset. They've understood the culture. They've helped elevate those kind of things, which that's not always easy to do, especially when you're here for a short window of time. And I'm just proud of Ryan and guys like Tyler, Jared Southers, who have done that and done that very well and have helped build this culture and strengthen it. And it's been a positive force.
Another question from Kelly Quinlan.
Hey, Kelly.
Hey, Jeff, I'm curious about additional needs in the class. I mean, I feel like you probably still have maybe one or two more this week, and then also you have until February to add more guys and even past that for transfers. I'm just curious where you see maybe some needs that you guys would like to address.
Yeah, so there's a couple of positions. I don't want to get into specifics, but we think we'll add a couple of more as we go out through the process. And so obviously there's ones that we're working on currently, and then some that could pop up in the spring as well.
Another question from Rod McKenzie.
Hey, Jeff, this is your second full class, and I know you were looking, especially on the defensive side of the ball, specific body types. Do you feel you're getting closer to where you want your roster to be in the process of the so-called roster overhaul?
Yeah, so one of the biggest things, if you just look two games ago, I mean, there were three true freshmen along the defensive line to start the game, and the other one was a redshirt freshman. And, so that up front, it starts up there, and really proud of Marco Coleman and Larry Knight, how they've developed that position through coaching, through weight training, and also through recruiting. And I thought we got some key pieces there. We got 6'6", 320, Zeke Biggers to come in here and play defensive line. Gray Carroll, who's a four-time state champion, Mr. Football in the state of Tennessee. Kevin Harris, who was a Rivals 100 player, coming back home. And so those kind of things are really huge for us moving forward. So just excited. You saw Kyle Kennard, you saw Jared Ivey, both 6'6" defensive ends, play at a high level down the stretch. And so that position is really, really exciting for us. And, obviously it starts with recruiting, and then Josh Robinson, Noah Collins, two local defensive ends that, again, are 6'4", 6'5", Micaiah Scott, 6'4", 300 pounds, transferring back home. Keon White, who is arguably one of the best defensive ends, in the country 2 seasons ago, coming here. And so just really excited about the depth that we're being able to create, the length, the athleticism, and the demeanor to play defensive line at a high level in this league and beyond.
Question from Daniel Shirley from The Athletic.
Hey, Jeff, you mentioned the in-state recruits. That's obviously been a focus of yours. How do you think this class continues to fill that for you?
Yeah, so I think there's 13 is the number in the class, and it starts right here. We talk about the 404 takeover, representing Atlanta, representing the ATL, just the high school coaching in the state of Georgia is at such a high level. The development, the demeanor, the priority that is high school football in the state of Georgia. We just have such a tremendous respect for all of the high school coaches, really good relationships with all of them. We've got an open door policy pre and post COVID that they know they can come here, talk ball, watch practice, watch film, build connections, build relationships, and those things are huge as you build a program. And obviously when you start from inside the city, inside the state, and then move on, that's the key to success, and especially with the fertile grounds that is high school football in this great state.
Coach, I have a question here that was texted in from a member of the media who couldn't join us this afternoon. And he asks, with the 5 recruits that you've mentioned, it's been calculated that you have a top 20 class for the second straight year. If you could, it's actually a 2-part question. If you could talk about the transfers and how they'll affect the team and how they'll fit into the program? And then secondly, what does it mean to the program and to you personally to have a top 20 class for the second straight year?
I needed to write down notes for all those questions, Mike. But yeah, just really proud of the job that our staff has done. We said from day one that we got here, recruiting is a huge priority to us. But it's also not just a collection of talent. It is building a program, and the guys that we've got coming in, regardless of rankings or not rankings, we've specifically identified each member of this class and the class before it to have a specific role within our organization, the right demeanor, the right mindset, the right work ethic, all of those things so they can develop and be the best that they can possibly be. So anytime that there's a number attached to it, obviously there's a source of pride, but the biggest sense of pride is just the right kind of people coming into the program to build this thing the right way. And I think we've done that. You look at last year, our evaluation process, we get a number on the front end, and then as they begin to play for us and develop under us, it got re-ranked as the 8th ranked class in the country. So what we determine and what we see is important to our organization, important to our culture, and that they'll come in the right way and develop and add to the culture is the thing that makes you the most proud and just excited. Whatever the pre-ranking, it is what it is. But how they perform once they get here into our culture, under our coaches and our amazing strength staff, that's the thing that I'm really excited to get them here and get to work. I think there's going to be around 11 to 13 of this class here in January, and just fired up about that piece as well.
Another question from Ken Segura from the Atlanta Journal-Constitution.
Hey, Jeff, I had another question about the 5 transfers. Is that something you anticipate, like keeping those, I mean, whether it's 5 or 3 or 4, but something that you figure is going to keep happening just given how you're positioned in the state and so forth to keep that going?
Yes, I mean, I don't want to get into how this is going to work out or that's going to work out. We try to stay open-minded. We try to stay fluid in every single thing that we do with the recruiting process, targeting, identifying the available players that are out there, and making the best decisions how well they fit, into the program. Do they have the developmental qualities that we're looking for to come in here and perform at a high level and achieve academically? One of my favorite things, I was talking to Brandon Pottebaum, who's in charge of football academics today, and we were talking about this past signing class. So this past signing class has been re-ranked as the 8th ranked class of football players in the country. But his comment about who they are, their demeanor in the academic center, their demeanor in the classroom, how they attack everything, how they communicate, how they're driven, how they're focused, that carries on in every phase of their life. And those are the things that are the residuals that make you really, really proud. It's not just that they're great on the football field, which they are, even though they're very young. It's who they are on a daily basis within our program that's going to lead to even bigger future success. And then we get guys that come in behind them. They teach them this is the way that we do things around here, and we do everything that we do at a high level. Those kind of messages, those kind of examples are huge for the present and the future of the program.
Another one from Kelly Quinlan.
One of the biggest challenges I thought you guys had that was not offensive was the defensive line, just because you'd lost a lot of seniors from before you got here. And you had 7 guys today to that group, and then you had a lot of guys you've developed that are younger. Kind of, can you just talk about what that'll look like as that future kind of builds out with that group?
Yeah, so, and again, I said earlier, it starts up front on both sides of the ball. And the work that we've gone through transforming this roster through recruitment and through the development of the player has been awesome. We're bigger, we're faster, we're stronger, we're longer. The attitude, the demeanor that you're supposed to play with up front is starting to be what it's supposed to look like. And I'm just excited to continue to develop and build on those fronts, at both of those positions, because that's where it begins, is up front on both sides of the ball.
Another one from Rod McKenzie.
Hey, Rob.
Hey, Jeff, if I could switch it over to special teams a little bit.
Please.
You're bringing in David Shanahan.
Yeah.
Is he a guy, besides being a punter, that you feel could maybe be used for something like kickoffs? And also you have, a bunch of really good athletes coming in that were returning kicks and punts in high school. I imagine that excites you a little bit, maybe to pick up that phase of the game.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we were one of the top two teams in punting and net punting in the country last year. Obviously, Presley Harvin is a finalist, and I would imagine he's the front runner for the Ray Guy Award. He does all the things that are needed statistically, but the way he plays the game, the way he fits into our scheme, the way we use our gunners and our punt protection scheme that is very similar to an NFL style, those kind of things bode well for Presley in the present. And also bringing a guy like David in here, he's a left-footed punter, so that is a reverse trajectory and spin on the ball. There's a lot of things that he can do that we've not done in the past that we'll be able to expand upon with his role. And, one of the biggest regrets in this right now is not being able to go do a home visit with David. I was fired up to go over to Ireland to see him in person. Obviously can't do that, but just excited to get him here. And I think the track record from Harrison Butker to Presley Harvin, we've got to continue to build upon that, at a high level in the kicking game.
Another question from Kelly Quinlan.
Hey, Jeff, I was curious about your quarterback situation now. You signed Peary and you have Jeff and Jordan. Do you look to add anyone else? Are you comfortable with 3 scholarship quarterbacks going into next year?
There's going to be another kid that's on the roster right now. Demetrius Knight will probably play some quarterback, and I'm sure that's being released on Twitter as we speak by some of you guys. But we're going to give Demetrius a try at that. That's his first love. He's done a great job for us. When we got here, there were only 3 linebackers on scholarship. He unselfishly made the move to play linebacker for us, and he played it at a really high level his first 2 years, and have been tremendously proud of Demetrius. But just same thing we did with Bruce Jordan Swilling, transitioning back to running back. Same thing we did with Jerry Howard, giving him a shot to play linebacker. Those kind of things. If guys have a conviction that they want to try another position that's in their heart of hearts, we want to afford them that opportunity to do that. And so I'm sure Demetrius is getting blown up right now on social media. But what a great young man. He's going to add to that room. I think Jeff Sims has done a tremendous job as a true freshman. Ridiculously proud of Jordan Yates, state champion out of Milton High School, has come in here and he's played his role at a really, really high level. And he comes to work every single day, one of the hardest workers in our program. Him and Jeff have a tremendous relationship. And then Chaden getting here at the turn, it's going to be very there's going to be 4 different styles of quarterback that we're going to get to work with, and just excited about them. High character guys, hardworking guys, understand the relationship piece, and it's an exciting time at that position here at Georgia Tech.
Another one from Ken Segura.
Hey, Jeff, if I could just ask you just about the season past, if that's all right.
Sure.
Could you kind of big picture go over your 3, sides, offense, defense, special teams, where you feel good, where you feel like, we need to get better here?
Yeah, just one of the biggest pieces I thought throughout the season, we got much better at defending the run, applying pressure on the quarterback as the year went on. We got to play a lot of young guys, especially up front. Still things that we're going to have to continue to improve on, but the effort, flying to the ball, creating turnovers defensively are some things that we're going to build on. Offensively in the run game, I thought we were significantly better. And really, we were better in all phases. There's still some things that we're going to continue to work on, to continue to expand upon. Starting 3 true freshmen, there were things that we evolved into as the year went on. But it was exciting to see the 2 games that we had almost full rosters. There's really only two in this kind of season that we're in, were the Louisville game and the Duke game, where we had the full complement of our roster. And, I think a lot of people got to see glimpses of what we're continuing to become and grow to. And then in the special teams game, obviously the punting game was really good. We have to create more returns on the punt return game and in the kickoff return game. And kickoff, there were some times that we looked like one of the elite units in college football on the kickoff coverage. And then other games, there's a couple plays that we wish we would have back as far as leverage or proper fits or whatever. But there's a tremendous amount to build upon. The way the guys fought down the stretch, regardless of circumstances, regardless of how the roster was being affected, they just kept coming out and fighting and battling, playing together. Those are things that you can build on, and just excited about the fight and their commitment. We've got some key guys that were seniors this past season, and thankful for the NCAA, having the the freedom for those guys to return. There's some key guys returning to the roster that will provide tremendous amounts of leadership, tremendous amounts of experience, and they're excited and they're committed to us continue to develop this thing the right way.
We've got time for just a few more, whether it's recruiting or otherwise. We'll start with one from Kelly Quinlan.
Jeff, I was just curious about the seniors, as you were mentioning that. Do you have kind of a count now of how many you expect to have back, and how much of a, bonus will it be to be over 85 and have maybe 90 guys on scholarship that can contribute and have that extra experience?
Yeah, and it's just the guys that are moving on. Here's one of the bonuses of being here at Georgia Tech: the network, the connections, the internship opportunities that our guys go throughout the course of their career sets them up for success, regardless if they continue to play this great game beyond college, or if they maximize their education, their relationships, their networking, their internship opportunities, and they manifest themselves into jobs for a bright future. And that's the beautiful thing about this place, is there's so many opportunities afforded to them by going to school here in the city of Atlanta, the business opportunities, the internships, the job offers that they're going to be able to have once they get out of this place. And then we're lucky to have, I think the number right now is 4 or 5 that are said that they're going to return for us, and just excited about them and who they are and what they mean to this program. The guys that are moving on to go either to the NFL or to begin their very lucrative careers after getting a degree from this place. Just thankful to them, wish them the absolute best, and they'll always have a special place because they help build the foundation for all the success we're going to have.
Rod McKenzie.
Hey, Rod.
Hey, Jeff. Going back to the transfers, you have a big body coming in on the offensive line in the interior. What did Brent see from Nick that he really liked about him that caught his eye?
Yeah, and it's funny. So 2 of the guys, who Kenyatta Watts and Nick Penley, were actually 2 of the first recruits that I ever went to see as the head football coach here at Georgia Tech. And, they were priorities in the transition. And, obviously one went to the University of Texas, one went to Mississippi State, but they're both coming back home. Nick is a big guy that plays physical. He plays tough. He plays the game with an edge, and he's strong. He's physical. He moves the pile, and so really excited about him and him coming back home.
Okay, we'll take one more. Last one comes from Kelly Quinlan.
Hey, Kelly.
Hey, Jeff, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention 2 of the guys that committed the earliest in your class, Malik Rutherford and Haynes. Can you just talk about those 2 guys and that slot position that continues to evolve, where you have a mix of guys like PJ and maybe Avery Boyd next year, and then you have Nate and these 2 freshmen that can fly?
Yes, and both of them are both Malik and Jamal are playing for state championships, and that's awesome when we get guys that are used to winning, have that culture. It's huge, but just both dynamic playmakers in space. They get the ball to them in a multitude of ways, very similar how we play ball, and just excited about both of them. Dynamic playmakers with the balls in their hands, and really, really good speed as well.